What's up guys, how you doing today? Welcome back to this YouTube channel. It's your guy Igor here. Today's video is going to be a little bit controversial because it is about Calgary, Alberta, and specifically mostly Alberta, pros and cons of moving to Alberta. Some people are going to find this video really helpful because I'm going to express an opinion, but this opinion is again my personal opinion, and it can actually trigger some people who are living in Alberta. So I'm going to tell some good points and some bad points, and what I want you to do guys is look at those points, ask me more questions and tell me if you agree on them and what you disagree on. I want to know your opinion in the comments under this video. With this being said guys, let's begin. Let's start with the positive things and I'll tell you the negative things in the end of the video. So first positive thing about living in Calgary and specifically Alberta, every province in Canada has their own healthcare system and their own budget and everything. So the best thing in Alberta that I found out is that there is a health card that you can get right away. I know that in Vancouver, for example, in British Columbia, you have to pay for your health card. In Toronto, I had some problems getting my health card as international student. They wanted my permanent residence and there's some kind of other regulations. There are obstacles to get it. In Alberta you don't have any problems getting it. You just have to have your study permit, work permit or visa, a permanent residence, and you have to just prove that you are living here, meaning that you just have to bring your bank statement for your debit or credit card with your address proving that you are staying, or a lease agreement, and this is the way you can get your health card. And the health system, healthcare in Alberta is one of the best in the country so far, and I think this is one of the most positive things about Alberta. The second positive point that you have to know about Alberta is scenery, Rocky Mountains and beautiful places. Look behind me right now, those are Rockies. I'm located on the tunnel hiking trail. It's basically up the mountain and I'm just on my way there, but I decided to record the video before going there. So Rocky Mountains, Banff area, Canmore is one of the most beautiful places to hang out with the Lake Louise and everything. I think the scenery and nature is beautiful in Alberta. You get all the animals. On the way here we have seen a moose, we have seen deers on the road, and sometimes you can see bears. So it's really close to the nature and has really nice scenery. So if you're liking like a country lifestyle where you go out with your family for a hike and enjoy the nature, enjoy the waterfalls, lakes and other beautiful sceneries in the mountains, I think Alberta is the best place in that sense. When I lived in Toronto, there was not too much of sceneries other than Toronto downtown. You don't get the mountains like here, and everyone at my current workplace where I work, people coming from Toronto, everyone is just amazed by the scenery that Calgary, Alberta has to offer to Canada. The third positive point about Alberta is the taxes. I know that Ontario has GST and HST tax, and Alberta just has the GST tax, so the prices are just going up by 5% from what you see in the retail store when you're buying them. It goes by 5%. I remember when I lived in Ontario, it was going I think by 13%. It was way higher. It was like double than what you pay taxes here. And the other thing I would like to say also about the retailers, in Ontario there is monopoly for the liquor store. There is government-owned LCBOs, beer stores and those kind of things. Alberta has privately owned licensed enterprises that are selling liquor, and liquor appears to be way cheaper in Alberta. I would say it's cheaper to have some alcohol in Alberta than it is to have alcohol in Ontario and in other provinces, which makes this another positive point towards this place and towards this province. The fourth positive point for Alberta is going to be one of the really most important for many of us, is the wages. What I've noticed is that in Alberta for the same jobs you're getting way more money than let's say in Montreal, Quebec or Toronto. For the same jobs you're getting a higher percentage. It's just a little bit more per industry. Per the same job that you're doing in Ontario, you're going to get more money in Alberta. For example, let's say gas fitters. I heard that gas fitters in Toronto are getting closer to $20 an hour and $22 per hour. Alberta gas fitters are making anywhere from $28 to $35 per hour, sometimes even more. So it's just the same jobs. You pay less taxes and you're actually making more money here working for the same kind of positions, even for the same companies. The same company branch in Toronto would pay a little bit less, just a little bit less money for the same job that you would do. But I'm talking about entry-level jobs and median, intermediate jobs. I'm not saying about the highest executive management. Those guys, they are making a lot of money wherever they are, Toronto or Alberta or Calgary or Edmonton. If you're a CEO, of course you're going to make more, but if you're a regular worker like myself or other people within the country, you're going to benefit of being in Alberta by making more money. The fifth point is going to be also a positive one. It's going to be multiple points in one. I would say the gas is generally cheaper in Alberta, in Calgary, than in other cities in Canada because of the oil industry that is situated here. Also, the cars are slightly cheaper and better quality because there is less salt on the roads. They don't mix too much salt just like they do in other provinces. And this doesn't make that much of corrosion on your cars. I'll tell you one negative point about it in the negatives, but for positive stuff also, you can make more money with unskilled labor than in any other province by getting, for example, job in oil rigs, going up north, working at northern Alberta, making good money by working in the oil industry because of harsh weather conditions and demanding jobs. They are getting way more money than you would get ever anywhere else in Canada working same kind of, let's say, unskilled labor. If you're doing something unskilled, the most amount of money you can make in Canada, I would say it's probably in Alberta, just because of the oil fields and oil manufacturing, which makes this province pretty good for unskilled labor and people who are coming here for fast and nice cash. Alright guys, it's time for negative points, and I am really excited. There is sun coming out, so I'm going to shift the camera a little bit to the right just to remove that glare. So the negative points, I've been waiting for this moment. First thing, as I told you about the salt, because there is less salt. Also in Alberta you would have to fix your windshield a lot, so this is one of the first negative points. When you're driving in Alberta, they use gravel and sand on the roads, not to use salt, which is good for your car not rusting, but at the same time you're going to be spending more money on replacing and repairing your windshields, which is a good business opportunity for you if you're coming to Alberta, having a glass repair shop for cars, which there are so many already here because it just keeps on getting broken all the time from the gravel flying from the cars, which really actually sucks. It's dangerous when you drive like that. Second negative point about Alberta and Calgary, I would say it's a cost of living. It is pretty expensive here, unreasonably sometimes expensive. The rent is kind of high, also the groceries are more expensive. If you go to a restaurant, I've been to Toronto recently, if you want to get food from outside, it's cheaper in Toronto than it is in Alberta, way cheaper. That's what I noticed. Of course the tax is less, but it doesn't mean the businesses are going to lower down their prices. They're compensated by having prices higher than in other places, just because they assume that people are making better living here, which it's not always the case, and it's going to be on my next negative point. Number 3 is layoffs and oil industry. Yes, Alberta is a land of opportunity where you can get really good money real fast, even with unskilled labor working in oil fields, but the problem with this place is that everything is so much reliable on oil. Everything relies on oil, and if oil goes down, companies go down, the economy goes down right away. Oil fields, oil companies start laying off people. There is right away huge unemployment level, and there's lots of problems with that. People who are used to make a lot of money are unemployed, going on unemployment insurance, having mortgages they cannot afford, cars that they cannot afford anymore, not having the job, and it takes few years for oil to go up, sometimes 5 years. So whenever the oil goes down, people from Alberta start moving out to other provinces, and that kind of sucks because the entire economy goes down. It's not just the oil, because every customer, everyone who is relying on oil, those people who are having those jobs, they're buying houses, they're buying jacuzzis, they're buying expensive products, and all of a sudden everyone stops buying everything. What happens with businesses? Other businesses slow down, logistics, transportation slows down, construction slows down, everything slows down, and people get laid off all over the place, the entire place. And last time when there was a huge layoffs, I remember I went to Sunridge, I believe it was Sunridge Mall or closer, somewhere there was like I believe thousands and thousands of people with their resumes. They had a job fair there, and I was just there. I was surprised, amazed how many people there are. And the most ridiculous thing is that they couldn't even accommodate the amount of people standing in line there, which kind of sucks. If you're in that situation, you have the mortgages, you're relying on your job, and then everything drops and you just go bankrupt, losing your house, losing your car, and all that kind of stuff just because of oil prices. And that really sucks about Alberta. When oil goes down, everything goes down. Point number 4 is that Alberta has 4 seasons. One of them is fall, winter, spring, and the road construction season. What I'm trying to say is that there is lots of construction going on and there is lots of problems I see in it. The thing is, Alberta has a different mindset as the province, and if you look at city of Calgary, for example, last year they were building some roads, and then winter started all of a sudden. First of all, they were building like the entire year, then all of a sudden winter started and they left roads as it is, and now they are doing the road construction again. So it's basically same thing goes over and over for the second year now. What I'm trying to say is that Alberta is a little bit slower and a little bit having more orthodox views, old style of views, old school, versus the other part of Canada, versus the eastern part of Canada. Western part of Canada, specifically Alberta, is like more slow in this kind of sense. I'll say that for example, if you're working for the government, those guys are more slow in doing what they are supposed to do, and that's why lots of things get out of hand. The projects that they start, the city of Calgary starts, some of them are really successful, some of them apparently just want to say they suck, and they are getting done real slow, spending so much of money for subcontractors and other companies without actually managing the budgets properly. So I want to say that the city of Calgary, at the same time, when they're doing really good job in bicycle routes and other things and managing lots of good things, but Calgary kind of sucks in roads, and roads are just destroyed, and every summer they're trying to get fixed, creating more traffic jams and creating more mess instead of actually resolving. So that kind of a negative thing that frustrates lots of Calgarians. When I was making a video about homelessness in Calgary, lots of people actually complained, saying that the real problem in Calgary are the roads, which I didn't notice as much when I first came here, but now I see it more and more, getting my car wrecked a couple of times on the roads here this year specifically. And number 5, the negative point about Alberta and Calgary. Let me move the camera a little bit more to the right. Again, the glare is coming out. That there is not much nightlife here. There are some pubs, there are some places, there is a Stephen Avenue, there are a couple of places where you can go and hang out for young kids, but I don't see that much of nightlife for adults who are closer in their upper 20 years, early 30s, for hanging out. I don't see that much of a nightlife here in Calgary and Alberta. It's kind of more slow. If you go to Airdrie, there is like literally few places where you can go. What I'm trying to say is, in Toronto you get way more of this kind of stuff. So if you are a person, like an urban person, and you're like in an urban life where there is a big city with skyscrapers, and you have nightlife, and you stay in your own apartment, and you're enjoying this kind of, fast and all of this kind of things, that's the negative thing here, is there is not much of it. People prefer to stay in their own communities, close down, drive to their places, not interacting with other people. Of course, there are some communities that are really nice, but they are more further away from downtown. People who are closer to downtown are more closed, trying to get from their work to their homes with minimum interactions between other people, which kind of, personally for me, I think that's a negative thing, and it kind of sucks if people are not interacting with each other. But for you, it actually might be a good point. For example, if you are a person who is like in a nightlife, this might suck for you. If you're a person who is an extroverted like myself, who likes to interact with everyone, it might suck for you. But if you're a person who is more closed down, shy, and doesn't want to interact with anyone and wants to get from point A to B, Alberta would be a perfect place for you. And final negative point about Alberta and Calgary is that there is harsh winter, it gets real cold, it gets real slippery, sometimes it snows so badly, there are so many accidents, and you really have to be a really good driver in here because it's just dangerous sometimes on the road, and the winter is really harsh here. But at the same time, there is one positive point: there is a Chinook, a hot wind that comes and melts everything away, and for a few days the -20, -30 weather can be +5, all the snow melts away and then it freezes again. So this is one that is kind of a negative point, really harsh weather, and at the same time, at least sometimes it gets warmer, which makes this place better than Saskatchewan. To sum this up, I want to express my own point why I came here and why I'm still here. First of all, I love the scenery. Look at this behind me, all the forest, the wilderness, the animals, the beautiful, beautiful Rocky Mountains, lakes and rivers, waterfalls, hiking trails. You can go out in summer every single weekend and have some nice hike and nice fresh air and water. It's just beautiful, as well as you can get to work from work, traveling from one point of the city to a completely different point of the city in half an hour without having that much of traffic jams is amazing. I don't really like nightlife, and I am more person who is more nature oriented, even though sometimes I enjoy going to downtown. It works perfectly fine for me. I moved here. Why I moved here? I moved here as international student from Toronto to find jobs and finish my immigration, and in reality when I came here I was kind of missing all the nightlife and all the city rush of Toronto that was there. But once I stayed here, and recently, a few weeks back, maybe 3 weeks or two weeks back, I went to Toronto, and what happened is I realized how much I got used to and addicted to Alberta, how much I like it more with the travel distances, with the time and more freedom here that you get, free from everything, with your own private spaces. For me, this place and this province works perfectly, and I think there's lots of things you can enjoy if you're living in Alberta. In fact, I'm really proud of this place, and I like this province. That's what I wanted to tell. Alright guys, I want to find out your opinion. Are you living in Alberta? Are you staying in Calgary? Do you like this place? Have you lived in other parts of Canada? What sucked about other parts of Canada which you find way better in Alberta, and what you hate about Alberta? I would love to see your comments in the section below, in the comments for this video. I want to know your opinion. What do you not like? Do you agree on any of my points? Which points you think you disagree on? Express your opinion in the comments of this video. Also, if you like the video and you want me to shoot more videos like this, hit that like button. If you're new to this channel and you find this videos helpful for you, don't forget to subscribe, because I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in next video. Have a good one.
When the lights are out and you stumble in the dark, you kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault.